Some guitarists shred, some innovate, but only a few can make you feel something deeper. John Frusciante doesn't just play the guitar, he bleeds through it. His notes aren't just sounds, they're emotions trapped in time. Whether it's the bittersweet sadness of Under the Bridge or the raw vulnerability of Scar Tissue, his playing has this rare ability to speak without words. But what makes his guitar playing feel so different? Why does his sound resonate with listeners in a way few others can? Today, we break down the genius of John Frusciante's guitar playing, his influences, techniques, and the deep emotional core behind his sound. This is the magic of John Frusciante. To understand John Frusciante, we have to go back to the records that shaped him. Unlike many guitar heroes obsessed with technical perfection, Frusciante grew up worshipping the raw expressiveness of Jimi Hendrix, the minimalism of the Velvet Underground, and the unfiltered energy of punk rock. But here's the key, he wasn't just copying them, he absorbed their soul and made it his own. Frusciante once said he loved the imperfections in old recordings, the small mistakes, the human touch. That's why his playing always sounds alive, never robotic. John Frusciante's sound starts with his guitars, specifically, vintage Fenders. He's best known for playing a 1962 Fender Stratocaster, a guitar with a glassy warm tone that sings rather than screams. But it's not just about the guitar, it's how he plays it. Unlike many guitarists who chase pristine, modern tones, Frusciante embraces imperfection. His guitars aren't just instruments, they're extensions of his emotions. Other guitars in his collection: 1961 Fender Stratocaster, used for much of Blood Sugar Sex Magik, featuring a classic bluesy tone. 1955 Fender Stratocaster, a slightly different tonal character, giving a thicker, rounder sound. Fender Jaguar and Telecaster, occasionally used for brighter, sharper tones. Gibson Les Paul Custom, rarely used, but adds thickness when needed. Frusciante's amp setup is surprisingly simple. He doesn't chase a wall of distortion or overly processed effects. Instead, he relies on classic tube amps that give him warmth, depth, and a natural overdrive. His main amps: Marshall Major 200W, a beast of an amp, famously used by Jimi Hendrix. This amp gives Frusciante his signature clean but crunchy sound. Fender Silverface Showman adds a more delicate, chime-like quality to his cleaner tones. Vox AC30, occasionally used for its legendary mid-range punch and sustain. While some guitarists drown their sound in effects, Frusciante uses pedals sparingly, only to enhance, not to dominate. And yet, his pedal choices are essential to his unique tone. Key pedals that shape his sound: Boss DS1 Distortion, his go-to for grit and edge, but always used with finesse. Electro-Harmonix Big Muff adds a thick, almost violin-like sustain on solos. Ibanez WH-10 wah, essential for his funky, expressive playing, used on Danny California. Line 6 DL4 Delay, a critical part of his spacey, atmospheric textures in Californication. Electro-Harmonix Holy Grail Reverb, used to create a lush, dreamy quality in his solos. Even with the right gear, Frusciante's sound wouldn't be the same without his hands. His technique is deceptively simple, but incredibly expressive. Light touch and dynamic picking, he rarely picks hard, preferring to let the strings resonate naturally. Muted strumming and funk grooves, heard in Can't Stop and Give It Away, where rhythm is just as important as melody. Hendrix-style chord voicings, using thumb-over-neck techniques to add bass notes while keeping chords open and airy. Minimalist soloing, he avoids fast shredding, instead he lets each note breathe, e.g. Scar Tissue solo. Gliding between notes, legato feel. Instead of picking each note aggressively, he lets his fingers slide smoothly for a more fluid sound. Here's something unusual about Frusciante's playing: he doesn't aim for technical perfection. He actually embraces small mistakes, string buzz, and human imperfections. Listen closely to Under the Bridge. His picking isn't flawless, but that's exactly what makes it feel so real. He's not playing for perfection, he's playing for emotion. In an era where many guitarists chase technical mastery, Frusciante does something far rarer. He makes every note count. Listen to his solo in Scar Tissue. It's not fast, it's not complex, but it hurts. It feels like a conversation between pain and beauty. His philosophy? Play from the heart, not the hands. Frusciante's playing evolved dramatically over the years. His early days with the Red Hot Chili Peppers were full of punk energy and wild funk rhythms. But after his struggles with addiction and his return to the band, something changed. His playing became more melodic, more introspective, almost like he was telling his personal story through his guitar. And that's the beauty of Frusciante's evolution. His guitar playing grew with his life experiences. John Frusciante redefined what it means to be a guitarist, not just technically, but emotionally. He proved that great guitar playing isn't about speed, complexity, or gear. It's about honesty. It's about feeling. And that's why, even decades from now, his music will still move people. What's your favorite John Frusciante solo? Let's talk in the comments. And if you love music stories like this, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into rock legends. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. God bless.